Right, assalamualaikum everyone, and welcome to this Bitcoin update. It's a pretty crazy market, I know, and I understand. And everyone has the question now: is Bitcoin back into the game? Is Bitcoin ready to make a move to the upside? And well, let's open up the video here. And here it is. Now, first statement that I'm going to make in this video is that Atom Coins was proved wrong by the market, and there was this one hell of a manipulation that happened. It happened, and since it happened, we cannot be emotional about some certain manipulation. So you see, you have something very, very clear. Now, there are some few things I'm actually going to remove out there that I have in my head going on with all this movement. So all you had was a pattern. I gave you a logical ascending broadening wedge pattern here. It is actually an ascending broadening wedge. What you did, went down, you came up, and look at that, right? All you have is a fighting chance. So let's say Atom Coin is a future trader, and by the way, I'm not a future trader. So even if Bitcoin did move up, it's not that I'm getting liquidated. And even the best thing is that I have long-term bag, and they are enjoying all of this thing that is happening right now. But the thing is, let's say Atom Coins ever made a future trade. I actually try to enter at 42,800 because this is where you got rejected. This is where you're going to place your stop at 44,000. Atom Coins is going to risk 3% of his money. And do you think that bothers me? It doesn't even really bother me. Let's say we did enter a trade here. I'm going to lose 3.13%. I do have money management because we know fake outs may happen. Even way before we take a trade, at the back of our head, we know how much we're going to lose and we know how much to trade. Even if, let's say, I throw in $300, all right, I'm going to take a $9 loss. Fine, okay, we didn't get $33,000. But the thing is, now that you've broken this pattern, and I have been on Twitter, I have been on tradingview.com, and there are so many confusion, so many mixed opinion about what is going on, what is happening with this manipulation right now. And at what expense is Bitcoin pumping up to? What is this pump all about, right? Is this something that you're going to trust? Is this something that you probably would want to be careful about? I personally will still be careful, right? And if you don't like chart reading, because this is chart reading and there are some few things I'm about to tell you, so you may want to pay close attention, then close this video if you're not interested to see what charts do and this stuff like this and that. They do work, right? Charts do work. When they work really, really well. You've seen things that I've been doing on the channel for the past few times. Yeah, maybe 2 out of 10 times we're gonna get it wrong at some point. But the thing is, they do absolutely work, and that's the reason why we're sitting at 20,000 subs right now. And my comment is still that I would be careful. I'm not still trying to jump into this trade. If it does go up, here's a solution, right? Here's a one solution. If you think this thing is going to go up, I've actually tried to trade Matic right now. In that Matic trade, I'm taking in 2.5% of a risk, right? Only 2.5% of the risk, and I'm going to throw in $130 or $150, maybe even $100. Now, let's say Bitcoin doesn't really go with the logical charts and stuff like that, and your gut's feeling are saying that yes, the bull run is about to come back. Yeah, let it go up. At least you're going to get something out of Matic because you are risking 2.5. If it does go 23%, 100% move to the upside, yes, you're missing absolutely nothing. But if it doesn't really go up there and you lose 2.5%, amazing. You're not going to die. Your bank balance isn't going to be washed away. You're still going to be alive enough to trade for another day. So that's one thing, right? Let's say I've actually solved the problem and the mystery of this thing moving to the upside. All right, take a bold decision, take a small risk, try to get into a trade. Maybe after all it is, but I'm still not satisfied, because if Bitcoin is not going to drop 20-30%, which is still kind of my expectation, right? Bitcoin was launched back in 2009. and now it is 2024. In 15 years history, you will make history for the first time that Bitcoin did not drop 25% on average before halving happened, because halving is in April, and everyone right now is cautious that what kind of a move is this with Bitcoin, because halving happened 3 to 4 times before, and every time before the halving, every 2 months before the halving, Bitcoin dropped down 20 to 30%. What are the odds for me to tell you that Bitcoin is not meant to go down 20 and 30%? And let's say it doesn't really go down. Let's say before halving in February, in March, you're making the moves to 69, 70, which I do expect, but not now. Adam Coins does expect 100K. Read at the thumbnail of the video, journey to 100K. It's a journey. In this journey, I don't really expect at this stage here to just go up. In this journey, I expect a bump before moving up, because Adam Coins still expect 200, even more near 300 and 400, maybe by next year. All right. And in those 4 to 5 historical halving that you had, this is for the very first time you're going to invalidate the fact that Bitcoin just moved up 2 months before halving, and it didn't really drop to the downside 20-30%, which is meant to be near $34,000. And this is for the first time where you have an RSI that has a big bullish divergence where the prices are up, these are moving down, and still you didn't really drop to the downside, right? And as far as I'm concerned, there are some more things I want to tell you. Now that ascending broadening wedge has been invalidated, there's one more thing that when you zoom out is still an issue. And this is what is still stopping me from trying to take a trade. And that is the daily time frame shows that Bitcoin is at a historical resistance one more time, right? It is what it is. Here you go. Rejection and a drop down. This is another rejection here and a little bit of a push down. And then is this now, I'm not going to even say this is a rejection. This is basically a question mark at this point. Is the third time the charm where you really break it up? Maybe I have to flip from that point onwards. And I don't have an issue flipping if Bitcoin wants to flip, right? We don't have any personal agendas with the market. We take our money, we try to look at the coins, and we trade them, we put a stop, and whatever happens, happens, right? Now, is Bitcoin trying to break above and move up? Or is it about time that you get rejection? And there's one more last comment, one more foot of thought, which is going to be a double top. How about this here? You have this first top, you make the second top, you come down, go below here, and finally you kind of see this in the future, and that actually goes all the way down to now 31,000. And this is actually realistic that you may move down to 31,000. It is realistic. Some few more things that I want to show you is that the market is really mixed up. Some coins are probably breaking that resistance that they have, and some of them are still failing, even though Bitcoin did pump nearly, what do you call this? That's going to be a pump of 9-10%. So if 9-10% Bitcoin pumped happen, right? You have 9-10% of the Bitcoin pump. That means that altcoins should be moving 20% up. Now, some of them did actually do that. If you look at Caspa, incredible performance right there. You have Caspa that actually did obey that Bitcoin move to the upside. You have USDC that never ever even did anything at all, right? It may do something, but it still didn't do anything. You have Pepe2 that actually did something. You have Chainlink that still had a little bit of that move up and is meeting a certain resistance up here. Resistance there, resistance here, resistance here, resistance there, and you may start to drop again and then come down to maybe $9.7. That's just something that I see. And then you have Sandbox that has this head and shoulder and is still struggling to get across that resistance here. Even Bitcoin, though Bitcoin did pump 10%, what did Sandbox do? Pump 5%. That's not a very good sign about the market. You have Matic that I'm actually trying to get a trade. If it does actually do some fake outs, but you're still not quite crossing Matic at the moment, and that's the reason why I'm taking 2.5% risk. And then you have Luna. You have Luna that also have a head and shoulder, but I'm just going to remove the drawings here. You have the head and shoulder. I'm going to show you the neckline, and the neckline is acting as a big resistance yet again. You still haven't invalidated, and you're showing a potential threat of a fall to the downside. So the market is mixed up. I just don't bloody know where these things are going to go. Maybe if we have Luna breaking up and coming to 0.81, Bitcoin breaking up and going to $52,000, Matic breaking up and probably moving to 0.96, maybe that's when we get to see a much more better market and a credible move up and clarity that okay, everything is destroyed, all the threat to the downside are destroyed. Maybe if ICP makes it up to 14.326, they're still not doing that. Even Bonk here, well, Bonk does look good now. It's actually trying to break to the upside. That's something that is much more positive. If you see Bonk trying to get all the way to the moon, and also the closing really depends. If you start to see Bonk trying to close in the next 8 hours very quickly all the way down to 1009, then this pump was just a fluke, or maybe just to get the stop losses, and then it actually drops down. So whatever this is, all I'm going to say is some final comments is that just be careful. Yes, the pump is there, but to an expense of a resistance even until this point of time, even though this may sound ridiculous, but that's the fact. And that's all for the video. I'm going to see you in the next one. I love this.